Hi guys, so if you're watching this video, something went wrong with my internet. My plan was to be in Zoom with you live, but this was the backup. So please watch this video and perform your experiment. So you do need to have with you today your crackers, okay? So today we are still working on the standard to use argument supported by evidence for how the body is a system of interacting subsystems composed of groups of cells. Today, we're going to explain how the structures and processes of the digestive system provide energy and building materials to the body. So you need your saltine crackers. Please make sure you have them broken into 3 pieces. I know you have 2 crackers, so you might want to break one of those into 2, and then you'll have 3 total pieces for the experiment. All right, before we begin, let's do a little review. The body is a system, just like a pen, because it is made of parts or levels. The part of your body that we looked at in lesson 2 was our cheek. The cheek is made of cells. So when we removed cells from the cheek, we still had our cheeks. So it is made of many, many cells. Skin, which is all over our body, is also made of many, many cells. So the skin and cheek cells are all grouped together. When groups of similar cells function together, they are called tissue. So tissue is made up of groups of cells. Heart tissue works together to form the heart. Groups of tissue that work together form organs. The heart is an organ in your body. So cells group together to make tissues, and tissues group together to make organs. Parts that work together for a specific purpose are called a system. The heart is part of the circulatory system. So it goes, systems are made up of organs, organs are made up of tissues, and tissues are made up of cells. And when all the system works together inside the body, it is called an organism. So organisms are made up of systems, systems are made up of organs, organs are made of tissues, and tissues are made of cells. All organisms need energy. Organisms get energy from food. Food is fat, protein, or carbohydrates. So since we know energy is stored in food, how does your body get the energy? Which human body system would we need to study to find out how our body gets the energy it needs from food? If you said the digestive system, you are correct. That's how our body is going to break down food. We need to study the digestive system because it breaks down the food we eat. So here's our big question. How does the digestive system get energy from the food, and where does the energy go? So you're going to go into ClassKick and do the assignment. So go into Google Classroom. Conduct the experiment and answer the questions. I want you to pause this video and then come back after you finish the experiment and watch the rest of the video. So let me go through the experiment with you just to make sure that you understand it. So it looks like this. You're going to start by following these directions and answering these 3 questions. Then you're going to do investigation part 1. So you're going to take 1 piece of your cracker, okay, and you're going to carefully observe how the digestive organs, such as your teeth and your tongue, function as you chew 1 cracker. So take a bite of the cracker, play the timer for 1 minute. So when you click on here, this is going to play the timer for you, okay, and you're going to play that timer while you chew. And as you chew, just kind of observe what your teeth are doing, what your tongue is doing, so that you can come in and answer these 4 questions. Then you're going to go to the next slide. You are going to go ahead and take your second little piece of cracker. You're going to focus this time on the taste of the cracker, and you are going to have to chew it for 2 minutes, which is going to feel like forever. Okay, so keep chewing, but see if you notice any changes in the taste while you are chewing that cracker. And you're going to come in after the 2 minutes is over. Here's your 2-minute timer, and you're going to answer these questions. When the timer ends, then you're allowed to swallow the cracker, but don't do it until the timer ends because you need to see if you had a taste change there. And then you're going to do investigation 3. This time you're going to break that cracker up into tiny, tiny pieces with your hands, and then you're going to chew it. You don't have to time yourself this time. You just put it in your mouth, chew it, and swallow, and see if you taste anything sweet when you are chewing that cracker that time. Then when you finish this, come back to the video, unpause it, and then you will finish the video. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you did your experiments. We're just going to talk about these questions. When you gently rubbed your tongue along the bottom of your teeth, what do you notice about the size and shape of your teeth? You should have saw that there is a difference in size and shape. The teeth in the back are thicker, the front teeth are flat, and there are 2 pointy teeth. Then you were to gently rub your tongue along the top of your bottom row of teeth and compare this row of teeth to the top row. What you should have found is that they were pretty similar. There are the same differences front to back on the bottom. The top and bottom have a similar arrangement. And then why do you think your teeth have 2 different structures? Well, the thinner pointed teeth are for tearing, and the flatter teeth are for mashing and grinding, which you need both when you are eating. All right, so then when you did investigation 1, which teeth did you use to bite into the cracker? You should have used your front teeth. And when you were chewing, which teeth did you use? That was your back teeth. And what function did each type of teeth perform? The function is eating, sharp-pointed teeth tear, and the blunt teeth grind. So how did your tongue function to help break down the food? Well, it helped move the food around in the mouth so that both types of teeth could break it down. All right, what did the cracker taste like when you first put it in your mouth? This is the time when we just were tasting it, right? It should have tasted salty when you first put it in your mouth. And then after chewing the cracker for 2 minutes, you should have noticed that it started to taste sweeter and it was much mushier than before. Okay, so why do you think there was a taste change? What was happening, guys, is the cracker was being broken down and there is stored sugar in that cracker. And so when that sugar was released, you started to taste that sweet taste. But it took a while because you had to have that chemical breakdown in your mouth happening with your saliva, okay? Now, when you did it the second time, when you smashed up the cracker and then you ate it, it should not have tasted sweet. It should have tasted salty still. Even though the cracker was broken down, it wasn't broken down by your saliva. So it was your saliva that actually caused the chemical breakdown in that cracker to make it taste sweet. And so when you broke it up in pieces, that was a physical change. It just broke it into little pieces, but it didn't change anything chemically about the cracker, so it still tasted salty. So that's kind of a big takeaway. It was a chemical change happening in your mouth with your saliva that caused the change in that taste of the cracker. All right, because we have 2 kinds of carbohydrates that are in food. That's sugar and starch. So starch is actually stored sugar. So if you've ever noticed a potato has lots of starch. That's where the plants are storing the sugar that's left over. So it's stored as starch in that potato. So starch is just stored sugar. The cracker changed while you were chewing because after breaking down the cracker through chewing, the taste became sweeter. And I hope you guys were able to taste that. I know it's hard to chew for that long. So what is happening if the taste is changing? The cracker is made mostly of starch, which is flour. It has a very small amount of sugar, and the cracker does not taste sweet until after the starch begins to break down into sugar molecules through a chemical reaction. So let's think about what we know about physical and chemical changes. So a physical change is the amount of matter that occurs without changing the chemical composition of matter. A chemical change is the change of a chemical composition of matter. So physical change is just like changing the size of it, things like that. Chemical actually changes the chemical makeup. So both kinds are usually irreversible. So like once you broke the cracker in pieces, you couldn't put it back together. Once you chewed it up, you couldn't put it back to how it was when you started. In a physical change, new products are not formed. So when you broke your cracker into pieces, you didn't make any new substance. It was still a cracker. But in a chemical change, a new substance is formed. So when you continue to chew and your saliva reacted with a cracker, it actually changed that starch into sugar. So there was a chemical change, all right? With physical changes, some changes occur when heating or cooling is done. For a chemical change always involves absorption or release of energy. And for a physical change, changes have no effect on the chemical bonds. And for a physical change, they do have an effect on the chemical bonds. Okay, so the sweet taste indicates that there is a breaking down of starches to sugars. The atoms of starch are rearranging to make molecules of sugar. Use your tongue to feel the bumps located under the tongue near the lower jaw. These are two other organs in the digestive system called salivary glands. During the chewing process, these glands produce saliva. You probably have noticed that in your mouth. And the function of the salivary glands is to start the process of chemical digestion. This is a process in which the food is chemically changed. The substances in food that provide energy and building materials to the body are not released just through the chemical process, or through the mechanical process, sorry. Saliva, which is a mixture of water, mucus, and a digestive enzyme called amylase, begins the chemical digestion that must take place through the digestive system in order for the energy and building materials to be released into the body. So breaking down your food actually starts right in your mouth with a physical change of chewing, which breaks it up, and then the salivary glands start to cause this chemical change in your food. So when we broke the cracker up first and then tasted it, it did not taste sweet because crushing the cracker broke it down physically, but does not change it chemically. So what are the smaller functional parts that make up systems of a body? So what makes up a system? This is a review. That would be the organs, right? And what organs make up the first stage of the digestive system? What organs have we talked about using in our mouth? If you said your tongue, your teeth, and your salivary glands, you were correct. So describe a mechanical process in this stage of digestion. What is happening mechanically to your food? Well, that would be breaking down of the food into smaller pieces. That's done with your teeth as you chew. And then the chemical process in this stage of digestion would be the chemical reaction of the enzymes and the starch, changing the starch into sugar. And those enzymes come from your salivary glands, remember, under your tongue. All right, so key ideas to take away today. The body is organized into levels of organization with cells as the basic unit. Both mechanical and chemical digestive processes begin to take place in the mouth. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and hopefully my internet will work for tomorrow, but if it doesn't, I will have another video for you. All right, bye-bye.